I had a map of India on my bedroom wall when I was growing up in Hobart. Mum, my new mother, had put it there to help me feel at home. But when I arrived in Tasmania, I didn't even know what a map was, let alone the shape of India. I had never been to school. I couldn't read or write or speak English. It was 1987, and they told me I was 6 years old. I didn't know for certain how old I was. On my official documents, my birthday was 22nd May, 1981. But that was a guess by the Indian authorities, based on the day I had arrived at the orphanage, an ignorant, confused, lost little boy. They had guessed my age and my birth year, which I have never changed. I hadn't been able to explain much about who I was or where I'd come from. The first time I ever heard the name Kolkata was when my new mum and dad pointed to it on my map and told me that's where I came from. But they were wrong. I didn't come from Calcutta, but from somewhere much further away, and the story of how I got there was incredible. At first, Mum and Dad didn't know how I'd become lost. All they knew, all anyone knew, was that I'd been picked off the streets of Calcutta, and after attempts to find my family had failed, I had been taken to the orphanage and then put up for adoption. Happily for all of us, I was adopted by the Brierleys. Mum had decorated the house with Indian ornaments, Hindu statues, brass ornaments and bells, and lots of little elephant figurines. She had spread some Indian-printed fabric across the dresser in my room and placed a carved wooden puppet in a brightly colored outfit nearby. All these things were sort of familiar, even if I hadn't seen anything exactly like them before. I had no idea that they were unusual objects to have in an Australian house. At first, Mum didn't concentrate on teaching me English. It was far more important to comfort and care for me and gain my trust, and you don't need words for that. She knew an Indian couple in the neighborhood, Celine and Jacob, and we would visit them regularly to eat Indian food together. They spoke with me in my own language, Hindi, asking simple questions and translating instructions and anything Mum and Dad wanted me to know about how we'd live our life together. Coming from a very simple background, I didn't speak much Hindi either, but being able to understand and be understood helped me settle into my new home and family. If my new parents weren't able to communicate through gestures and smiles, Celine and Jacob were always there to help. Mum and Dad were very affectionate, right from the start, always giving me lots of cuddles and helping me to feel safe, secure, loved, and above all, wanted. That meant a lot to a child who'd been lost and had experienced what it was like when no one cared about him. Very soon, I trusted them completely, and a strong bond grew between us. Even at the age of 6, I understood that I had been given a rare second chance. I quickly became Saroo Brierley. As children do, I picked up my new language quite quickly. But at first, I spoke very little about my past in India. My parents didn't want to push me to talk about it until I was ready, and apparently, I didn't seem to give it much thought. Mum remembers a time when I was 7, when, out of the blue, I became very distressed and cried out, "Me begot!" I forgot. Later, she found out I was upset that I'd forgotten the way to the school near my Indian home, where I used to walk to watch the students. We agreed then that it probably didn't matter anymore, but deep down, it did matter to me. My memories were all I had of my past, and privately, I thought about them over and over, trying to ensure I didn't beget. In fact, the past was never far from my mind. At night, memories would flash by and I'd have trouble calming myself so I could sleep. Daytime was generally better, with lots of activity to distract me, but my mind was always busy. I was determined not to forget a single thing about my family, my home, or the fateful night I was lost. Some of these memories were good, and some of them bad. But I couldn't have one without the other, and I wasn't prepared to let a single one go. And so, most of my childhood experiences in India remained in my memory as an almost complete picture, clear and fresh, and sometimes in great detail. Safe and secure in my new home in Hobart, I thought perhaps it was somehow wrong to spend so much time thinking about the past, that my new life might need me to keep the old life locked away. So I kept my night thoughts to myself. At first, I didn't have the language to speak about the past anyway. More than anything, I wanted to find my mother again. But once I realized that was impossible, I knew I had to do whatever it took to survive, so that one day I might be able to try and find her. Occasionally, the night thoughts would spill over into the day. I remember Mum and Dad taking me to see the Hindi film Salaam Bombay. Its images of a little boy trying to survive alone in a sprawling city in the hope of returning to his mother brought back disturbing memories so sharply that I wept in the dark cinema, my well-meaning parents unaware of the cause. Sad music of any kind, particularly classical music, could stir my emotions and my memories. Seeing or hearing babies cry also affected me strongly. But somehow, the thing that stirred me up the most was seeing other families with lots of children. I suppose they reminded me of what I'd lost, even though I was aware of my good fortune. I adapted to my country and culture fairly easily, most likely because I understood I was far better off in Australia than in India.